The process of fishing at sea by fishermen is a complex job, requiring close coordination between people, equipment and traditional experience. Before going to sea, fishermen need to carefully prepare fishing tools such as nets, hooks, boats, fish finders, GPS systems and enough supplies for days at sea. Once everything is ready, the fishing boat will leave the port early in the morning or at midnight, taking advantage of high tides and favorable winds for easy movement. Once arriving at the fishing grounds, areas of the sea with lots of fish, fishermen begin to drop nets or bait depending on the type of fish they want to catch. Some boats use modern technology such as fish finders to identify schools of fish more accurately. Pulling the net can take from a few hours to a whole day, depending on the depth of the sea and the amount of fish. When pulling the net, fishermen need to be careful to avoid tearing the net or letting fish escape. After being caught, the fish will be classified and refrigerated right on the boat to ensure freshness. In addition, fishermen also have to face many difficulties such as big waves, storms, sudden weather changes or the risk of pirates. After many days of fishing, the ship will return to the mainland, bringing with it the fruits of hard work in the open sea. The whole process not only demonstrates the diligence and hard work of coastal people but also demonstrates the deep attachment between people and the vast ocean. When arriving at the port, the work is not over for fishermen. After being brought ashore, the fish will be immediately transferred to seafood wholesale markets, processing factories or purchasing agents. Here, they continue to be classified by size, quality and type to determine the appropriate selling price. Some rare or valuable fish such as tuna, mackerel, red snapper, etc. will be transported by refrigerated trucks to restaurants, supermarkets or exported abroad. In addition to trading, fishermen also have to spend time repairing and maintaining boats. Nets and fishing equipment to prepare for the next trip. Sometimes, they also hold short meetings to exchange experiences, share information about new fishing grounds, the direction of ocean currents or tips for dealing with bad weather. Each trip to sea is a battle with nature, with lurking dangers, but at the same time it is a hopeful way to make a living. Fishing at sea is not only a profession, but also a tradition, a cultural identity of many coastal communities in Vietnam. Despite the hardships and difficulties, the image of wind-filled boats going out to sea, the strong and resilient fishermen are always a vivid symbol of human labor and love for the sea. Fishermen do not stop at catching and consuming fish. They also play an important role in protecting aquatic resources and preserving the marine environment. Nowadays, facing the situation of overexploitation and destructive fishing such as using explosives, electric shock or banned fishing gear, many fishing communities have become more aware of sustainable fishing development. They participate in propaganda and training programs on marine ecosystem conservation, comply with fishing seasons, minimum size of fish allowed to be caught, and limit the discharge of plastic waste into the sea. In some places, fishermen also coordinate with conservation organizations to patrol the sea, fight against illegal fishing or cooperate in scientific research. These practical actions not only help maintain long-term fish resources but also ensure stable livelihoods for future generations. Fishing at sea, despite the hardships and challenges, is still an indispensable part of the economic and cultural life of coastal areas. It is a story about the close connection between humans and nature, a vivid demonstration of courage, perseverance and the spirit of overcoming difficulties in the vast ocean waves. In addition to economic and environmental values, fishing at sea also has a strong traditional cultural identity. Deeply attached to the spiritual life of fishermen, each trip to sea is not simply a journey to make a living. But also a part of customs and folk beliefs. Before departure, many fishermen often perform a ceremony to worship the god of the South Sea or worship the whale to pray for peace, luck and good catch of fish. Festivals such as the Fishing Festival and the Nginong Festival held annually in coastal fishing villages are not only an opportunity to show gratitude to the ocean but also a place to connect the community, creating a united and warm atmosphere. Sea songs, My Nhi and My Day songs or stories about distant sea voyages are also unique features in the cultural life of fishermen. All of these things create a vivid, authentic and emotional picture of the fishing profession, where the sweat, tears, faith and hope of many generations of people blend together with the salty taste of the waves and wind. The fishing profession at sea, despite being affected by many natural disasters, climate change and changes in the socio-economic structure, remains an irreplaceable symbol of the resilient people who cling to the sea. Living and growing up in the middle of the vast ocean in the context of modernization and international integration, the fishing industry at sea is also gradually changing to adapt to new social requirements. Many fishermen have switched from manual fishing to using large-capacity fishing vessels, equipped with modern machinery such as satellite positioning systems, fish-finding radars, long-range communication devices and industrial freezers. These technical advances not only help increase fishing productivity but also improve safety during long trips at sea. In addition, a number of cooperatives and fishing teams have been established, helping fishermen become more united, supporting each other in terms of finance, fishing ground information and exploitation techniques. In addition, the government and social organizations also have many support policies on loans, fishing vessel insurance, skills training and quality standards to help people go offshore sustainably and effectively. However, these changes also pose many challenges, requiring fishermen to constantly learn, improve their knowledge and ability to apply technology. In particular, in the context of integration, compliance with international fishing regulations, protecting maritime sovereignty and developing the blue ocean economy are becoming important missions for every Vietnamese fisherman. Thus, although traditions are still strong, the sea fishing profession is gradually being upgraded, not only playing the role of the main source of income for millions of coastal workers, but also an important link in the country's sustainable marine economic development strategy. However, for the sea fishing profession to truly develop sustainably and long-term, it requires the joint efforts of the entire community, the government and each individual fisherman. One of the urgent problems today is the overexploitation that has seriously depleted aquatic resources. The fact that many fishing vessels compete to exploit regardless of the breeding season. The size of fish does not meet standards or the use of destructive fishing gear is seriously destroying the marine ecosystem. To overcome this, fisheries management measures need to be tightened and applied more effectively, from controlling the number of fishing vessels operating to replanning fishing grounds in a scientific way. At the same time, it is necessary to strengthen education for the fishing community about the responsibility to protect aquatic resources. encouraging them to switch to environmentally friendly fishing models such as selective fishing, coastal aquaculture combined with ecotourism. In addition, expanding the consumption market, improving preservation and processing also play an important role in increasing the value of caught products, thereby improving the lives of fishermen. In the future, fisheries will not only be a purely economic activity but also need to be seen as a green economic sector, harmonizing economic benefits, nature conservation and community development. Amidst the fluctuations of the times and pressures from nature, the image of fishermen still firmly clinging to the sea, not only to make a living but also to preserve the homeland sea. Protect sovereignty and preserve the precious resources that the ocean has bestowed upon the country. It is undeniable that the fishing industry at sea has been making an important contribution to the economic development of the country, especially for coastal provinces. From the first batches of fish brought ashore, there is a whole chain of related industries such as seafood processing, transportation, export, fishing gear manufacturing, shipbuilding, marine tourism, etc., all creating a rich and dynamic marine economic ecosystem. Not only contributing to the national GDP, the fisheries industry in general also creates jobs for millions of workers, from those who go directly to sea to households that dry fish, process fish, source or sell seafood at traditional markets. Each small coastal fishing village, each crowded fishing port is a living testament to the tenacious vitality and tireless working spirit of the fishing community. However, in that development journey, it is also necessary to seriously and objectively recognize that, without a long-term strategy, the fishing industry can completely fall into recession. The sea is not an endless resource, and if people only exploit it without preserving it, one day in the not-too-distant future, the nets will be nothing more than empty symbols. Therefore, investing in marine scientific research, applying digital technology in fishing ground management, improving fisheries forecasting capacity and protecting the marine environment are indispensable directions. That is the way to ensure that the sea fishing profession, an ancient profession closely associated with many generations of Vietnamese people, will continue to develop strongly. Blending tradition and modernity, between the desire for prosperity and the spirit of protecting the sacred sea and islands of the fatherland. Ultimately, what makes the sea fishing profession last is not only its economic value or modern techniques, but also the spirit, will and resilience of the fisherman. Through many generations, they still drift in the open sea every day, facing the storms, challenging the harsh nature to bring back fresh fish, contributing to enriching their homeland and country. They are people who are not afraid of hardships, accepting to face dangers, because for them, the sea is not only a place to make a living but also flesh and blood. A life deeply attached from childhood to old age. Even though today, society is increasingly developing with many safer and more convenient career options, there are still many young people who choose to follow in their ancestors' footsteps, continue their journey to sea, keeping the traditional flame that has never been extinguished. That shows that fishing is not only an economic sector, but also the soul of many coastal villages, a national identity, a symbol of courage, hard work spirit and the will to overcome fate. In the future, if we know how to harmoniously combine tradition and innovation, exploitation and conservation, the maritime industry will certainly not only survive but also develop more strongly. Worthy of being a solid pillar of Vietnam's marine economy, and the pride of every citizen living on the beloved S-shaped strip of land in the current deep integration flow. Enhancing the image of Vietnam's marine fishing industry in the international arena is also an urgent and potential task. Seafood products caught from our sea, especially high-value fish species such as ocean tuna, squid, mackerel, rainbow trout, sea farming, etc. are increasingly popular in many demanding markets such as Japan, Korea, Europe and the US. However, in order to continue to expand market share and maintain reputation, Vietnamese seafood products need to strictly meet international standards on quality, food safety and hygiene and traceability. This requires innovation in processes from catching, preserving to processing and distribution, requiring synchronous investment in technology, human resources and management. At the same time, building a national brand for marine fishing products is also very important. Not only to create a competitive advantage, but also to affirm the value and unique identity of this long-standing traditional industry. At the same time, marine ecotourism promotion programs associated with traditional fishing experiences are also opening a new direction, where tourists can join fishermen at sea, experience fishing village life, thereby increasing cultural and economic value for coastal communities. All of these factors, if exploited effectively, will create a new look for the fishing industry, modern, professional but still preserving the national spirit and love for the sea, contributing to bringing the Vietnamese seafood industry to the forefront, affirming its position on the global marine economic map. In the near future, marine fishing will no longer only be a traditional production activity, but also become part of the overall strategy for comprehensive, sustainable and modern marine economic development. The state has had clear orientations to build Vietnam into a strong maritime nation. Rich from the sea, in which fisheries play a key role. Large fishing centers are being planned and built along key sea areas such as Hai Phong, Da Nang, Can Hoa, Ba Ria, Vung Tau and Kian Giang. The system of fishing ports, wholesale fish markets, seafood processing factories and fishing logistics facilities are being gradually upgraded and modernized to meet new development needs. At the same time, fishermen are also focused on in-depth training in professional skills, knowledge of maritime law, environmental behavior and raising awareness of protecting sea and island sovereignty. The combination of traditional fishing with modern science and technology, between production and environmental protection, between exploitation and tourism, service development, will open up a sustainable, effective and long-term direction for Vietnam's fisheries industry. And above all, there is still the image of fishermen who, day and night, hold the helm firmly in the storm. Not only contributing to the development of the homeland's economy but also being living milestones, protecting the sacred sovereignty of the sea and islands of the fatherland. Therefore, fishing at sea will forever not only be a profession, but also a noble symbol of patriotism, of national strength, and of the aspiration to rise from the storms of the vast ocean. In addition to major development orientations from the state and social organizations, arousing the sense of self-management and creativity in the fishing community is also a key factor determining the long-term success of the fishing industry at sea. Many cooperative models and fishing teams have been formed, where fishermen not only share experiences and support supplies, but also join hands to protect fishing grounds and handle problems arising during exploitation. Movements to protect the marine environment, collect plastic waste and limit illegal fishing have spread strongly, contributing to cleaning up the sea and preserving aquatic resources. In addition, with the support of vocational training programs, Fishermen are increasingly improving their skills in managing and operating fishing vessels and applying digital technology to fishing and monitoring. The application of positioning software, weather warning systems, along with modern media help them be more proactive in planning their trips to sea and avoiding risks. Thanks to that, labor productivity has been significantly improved, and fishermen's lives have gradually improved. In general, the sea fishing industry is gradually transforming into a modern, professional industry while still maintaining valuable traditional values, reflecting the strength of the community and the harmony between people and the ocean. This is a solid foundation for Vietnam's fisheries to continue to develop sustainably, contributing more and more to the prosperity and well-being of the country. In addition, the development of green technology and environmentally friendly solutions is also opening up new directions for the sea fishing industry. Research and application of clean fuels. Energy-saving engines, as well as waste management systems on fishing vessels help minimize negative impacts on the ocean. At the same time, selective fishing techniques, limiting bycatch, and preserving endangered aquatic species are being widely encouraged. These initiatives not only help maintain biodiversity but also increase the ability to regenerate aquatic resources, protect the habitat of fish and other marine creatures. At the same time, international cooperation in marine resource management and combating illegal fishing also plays an important role, helping countries in the region coordinate closely to protect common resources and maintain order and security at sea. With a harmonious combination of tradition and innovation, economy and environment, marine fishing is gradually becoming a symbol of sustainable development, contributing to building a green, clean, beautiful future for Vietnam's seas and the world, along with the development of technology and environmental protection awareness. Communication and community education are also focused on raising fishermen's awareness of the importance of sustainable fisheries. Training programs, seminars and fisheries forums are regularly organized to help fishermen update new knowledge and better understand legal regulations related to fisheries exploitation and marine environmental protection.